Okay, so let's dive straight into Isaiah chapter 31 for this deep dive.
Great chapter. And it really, it kicks off with this incredibly strong warning, doesn't it?
It does. A whoa right at the start, aimed at those looking to Egypt for help.
Yeah, relying on, their military strength, the horses, the chariots, the sheer number of horsemen.
But the text immediately points out why that's a problem. It's because they do not look to the Holy One of Israel.
Exactly. Or seek help from the Lord. So right away, you get this core tension.
It's stark, isn't it? Human strength, human alliances, versus trusting in God.
Absolutely. And the text is, well, pretty blunt about Egypt's help. It says they are men and not God,
And their famous horses.
flesh and not spirit. It's not just saying they're human, it's pointing out a fundamental limitation, a difference in nature compared to the divine.
That's a key distinction. So what does that mean practically, according to the chapter, this flesh and not spirit idea?
Well, the text suggests that when push comes to shove, when the Lord acts, that human help just collapses,
Right, it describes the helper stumbling, the one getting help falling.
and both perishing together. It paints a picture of inherent fragility in relying only on human capacity.
It seems doomed to fail when set against what the text presents as divine action.
And in contrast, the Lord is portrayed very differently, as wise, capable of bringing disaster.
And someone who doesn't back down from his word. Powerful imagery there, like a lion focused on its prey, not scared off.
Yet descending to fight, it's active, engaged power.
And specifically for Jerusalem, it shifts to protection, right? Like birds hovering, shielding, rescuing.
Delivering, passing over, that Passover resonance and rescuing. So you see both sides. The danger of misplaced trust and the act of protection offered by God.
It's interesting, too, how it connects this external reliance on Egypt back to an internal issue.
Yes. Mid-warning, there's that call to return to him you have so greatly revolted against.
Mentioning their idols of silver and gold, it seems like the text views trusting Egypt's army as, well, part of a bigger pattern.
Like, it's symptomatic of a deeper turning away, linked to idolatry itself. Not just a bad foreign policy move, but a spiritual problem.
That's a really insightful connection the text makes. And this whole contrast, human versus divine power, kind of culminates in what it says about Assyria.
Right, Assyria, the regional superpower, the major threat at the time.
And their downfall really underscores the chapter's main argument.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it says Assyria will fall, but crucially,
Not by a human sword.
exactly, by a sword that is not of man, a sword not of mortals. It explicitly removes human agency as the primary cause.
Their warriors forced into labor, fleeing in terror, commanders panicking.
It emphasizes that this isn't just one empire defeating another through better tactics or more soldiers.
No, it's presented as something else entirely, an intervention from outside the normal human sphere of power.
Which perfectly illustrates that core warning about relying on flesh versus something more, something divine.
So, wrapping this up for you listening, we've explored Isaiah 31 and this really sharp contrast it draws.
Yeah, between trusting in human strength, what it calls men and not God, or flesh and not spirit, and trusting in the Lord's power.
We saw the consequences described. Reliance on human help leads to stumbling and falling together.
While even mighty Assyria is depicted falling to something beyond human means, that sword not of man.
So the thought to leave you with today is this. Reflecting on Isaiah 31, where do you see this distinction playing out now?
The difference between relying solely on flesh, on human systems, strategies, power alone, versus trusting in something fundamentally beyond that human strength.
Especially when facing significant challenges. What might be the implications of that choice today? Something to think about.